the Kuto area was not spared in this.
As a matter of fact, there was a casualty at the Kuto area. An Okada rider was butchered.
Relate with us or relate how it felt, because the interesting thing is I had to be somewhere yesterday, and I was on my way to work. I got back from where I went to say around 1:30 p.m. and I was on my way to work sometimes around to 2, and I just felt to
In the afternoon.
I felt to there's a certain online program I join 1 p.m. every day of the week, and so I was listening using a Bluetooth device, and so I just felt to relax around the Ibarra housing estate area to just enjoy that online session. And so the session overspilled its time, so it ran till 3 p.m. and it got me thinking. By the time I got to work, and I was told that there was a show of force from the cultists who came around with one of our co-workers even mentioned how one of them had like 4 knives, and then it was brandishing it and all of that,
4, but
and it got me thinking, maybe if I'd come to work if I didn't stop where I stopped,
been caught up in
the old art and all of that. So
well, we're fortunate that you didn't.
And some might not have been that lucky sometimes, especially for those who have set up shop ready for the business. The 1 p.m. is as
the
thick
day
of business as
starting at 1 p.m.
Yeah, as thick of the business as you can probably describe.
Some people haven't even made their first sale by 1
at all by 1 p.m. And so it's afternoon in the thick of you trying to get businesses done, and then cultists show.
And there's even that question of uncertainty. When you live in an atmosphere where there could be a possible cultist attack at any time, you're apprehensive. You're constantly on your guard, because you never can account whether, today is the day that, I'm going to make my greatest sales, or today is the day I'm going to be forced to close shop at 10 a.m. or 1 p.m. because I do not want to risk losing my life or even my business.
True that.
It is something that needs to be addressed. I know that in Ogun State, we have an anti-cultism department, an anti-cultism section of the state's criminal investigation and intelligence department. And I've noticed that
Nigeria Police.
Yes, and I've noticed that we many of the reports on cultist incidents that I've read, in the end, what the CP or maybe
the
PP RO or the DPO at whatever police station says is that they are going to investigate the incident, and then that's the last time we hear of it.
To a certain department,
and that's the last time we hear of it until the next one happens. So what then happens? What's the anti-cultism section of the state CIID doing about cultism, which the state government itself has admitted is one of, if not the biggest security challenge that is confronting the state? Are we to believe that because they've arrested a number of people whose identities are known, so why not capitalize on that intelligence, on that information, and then root out the entire confraternity?
Now, of concern again is the group of people who are these cultists. We referenced earlier how secondary school students are now full-fledged cult members, which was unheard of years ago. You could never relate a secondary school student to be a part of a cult
It gives
group
a
and all of
sinister
that.
meaning to the words "catch them young."
And while we're trying to make a research for this, I came across a certain video of a 20-year-old girl who narrated how she was initiated into a certain cult group, and what that led to how she joined. The exploits might sound like a wrong word to use, but exploit is just exploits. I see it in positive light, but then the fact that what they had done, or what she had done, the number of victims that they've killed and what has happened right after, it just makes for a sad picture, really, in terms of the fact that a 20-year-old girl could be initiated. And then the question is, values that we talk about, have they been completely lost? If a 20-year-old can be, like you said, caught young.
Well, let's listen to her account of her exploits and then we'll get back to this conversation. But don't forget to share with us your thoughts, your observation, your experience with the issue of cultism here in Ogun State. Our WhatsApp line remains 081 7555 1067 and Facebook is Splash FM 106.7.
I am 20 years old. I came from Abeokuta in Lafenwa side. I live at Ilasa Maja. It's when I go to Ilasa, I know Brother Sadiq. After I know Brother Sadiq to their place. After that, Brother Sadiq started giving me gun to go and be killing someone. I've killed about 4 people now. Brother Sadiq used to give us gun. She will not give us the person picture that we are going to go and kill the person. It's not only me. We are 3. The 2 persons have run away. It's only me that they catch. So when they give me the person picture, I'm not going to wear Jalamia white with this thing white, with hijab white. So three of us are going to go. It's Brother Sadiq that take me to their court. After she take me to their court, she now take me to their babalawo. So the babalawo will give me something to eat and do that. So after that, we are not going to go for operation. After the operation, we will not come back. Brother Sadiq is going to give us our money of the work. It's when I run away from Abeokuta, when I now reach Lagos, I want to go and be working. So and I see Brother Sadiq, and I see that the work that they are doing, I'll be seeing money inside. So that is how I joined Brother Sadiq. My parents and my daddy stays in Abeokuta. They stay. I went from Abeokuta to Lagos.
Just heard the account of the 20-year-old girl that we referenced before. We had to listen to how she got involved with a cult group in Lagos. And matter of fact, if you listen to that very well, she referenced how she left from Abeokuta, Lafenwa axis, where she used to live, to Lagos, and then she was initiated, and the exploits that they've had to carry out in that regard and all of that. We have Daud Olatunji joining us now in the studio. He's a reporter with the Punch newspaper. As a matter of fact, you could read the story as regards yesterday's cultist attack that was released. It's in the Punch newspaper, released today. Daud, thank you very much for joining us. I'm sorry. Yeah, we can hear you.
Apologies for coming late. So I'm sorry. Benga, good morning. Lola.
Good morning.
And listener, good morning.
All right. Talk to us about the incident yesterday that you covered.
I was not surprised. It is newsworthy, but it is not the first time. Yes, it is not unusual. It has been the current decimal. In Ijebu, they will a victim will run to the motor park where he believed densely populated. People who are there, these people will be scared. In the full glare of people, they kill them. We have reported. And it's not that they will shoot, they will dismember. In fact, that was a case. He went away with one of his arms, one of the victim's arms. It happened in Ijebu, but in Abeokuta, they are just introducing it now. It had happened before in 90s when Mapoli was in the news, in the bad news. But today, we thank God that by miracle, whatever, you cannot hear Mapoli with that cultism again. But then, they kill people at will. So, you know, the man, we don't know where he was coming, but he was on a bike too. They were chasing him. But around from that presidential profile,
Right.
whether he was coming from Leme's side, you know, negotiating and then coming, or he was coming right
From Okemoson, right.
Nobody could say, but he was coming from that direction. So maybe a director, he thought that he was a
motorcycle operator.
So maybe his thought was that instead of continue plying that
IBB
Boulevard, he thought that one is somehow isolated, doesn't have too many people there. But he tried to, you know, navigate towards that Kuto
market,
where, you know,
there's a lot of people
are there. And you know, surprisingly, despite that he tried to use people as a shield, these people were not budged. They pounced on him, they macheted him, and then the question is, there are not many. They were not up to 10, and there are so many people there, and they were not afraid of the masses, the mob. They ensured that the man was mercilessly dealt with before they left.
You said your report says they were masked, the perpetrators.
Yes, they were masked. But yeah, they were masked. But you see, masking is not even the issue. Having that audacity, not in the middle night, not in the dark, the full glare of people. Kuto, for God's sake. I won't blame the people, because if I cannot also, even as a reporter, I can also, because we know these people would not have done it like as ordinary people. They will have been under the influence, because human beings to human being macheted him to that extent. That's what it's an indication that nobody is safe. Anything can happen anytime. It's an indication that we have been saying that Ogun State needs to security need to be beefed up. The architectural design of security should be redesigned, because those guys did not spend 3 minutes, but they didn't spend up to 10 minutes. But within that tick of an eye, you have police patrolling and then checking them, and then how would they now escape? That is because it's not that too far from SWAT, former SARS office. And then it's not the NSCDC. It's also not too far from that place. So where is the intelligence? You don't understand. Where is the intelligence? You can never blame the trace. Trace are not security outfit. They are to ensure free flow of traffic. But we as citizens, as people, as resident of the state, we ought to have emergency number to die. And when you die, the number, before they think of an eye, the security will swap on them, and then they. So it gave me a concern that it shows that nobody is safe. If these people want to deal with anybody, even if the person is in the studio, anywhere,
regardless of witnesses.
Exactly, because the guy will have thought that let me use these people, crowd as a shield. It did not work out, and then apart from that, nobody thought of rescuing him after they left. But the guy was even raising his hand to show that I'm not dead yet. Yes, was raising his hand. That's why you will not see that it was not macheted to death. So because we see he was still breathing, whether he wouldn't do a sort of so it is an unusual thing. Yes, but in other part of the state, especially in Ogun East Axis, it is not. They do it In a year, we will record up to 3 incidents. They have July 7.
Right.
They have some other dates.
Significant dates.
Significant date to them. Maybe the reprisal attack when someone killed their leader. So they want to remember that day and then they will attack. Now the question is, if the guy is a motorcyclist, what we knew before was that cultism has been around students, especially tertiary students. So what do they want to gain, or why are they into that cultism? So that's why we see a bricklayer, see a mechanic, see all these artisans doing it. They have started recruiting them. So it is not only those who go to school, and then people that they have arrested, when we ask them questions, why are you into it? They said they promised them power. We now because we have had so many opportunities to interact with them, say, what kind of power? One of them, I remember he told me that he said, this world, we need connection. And they believe that when they were initiating them, they promised them that come. Some of these leaders, maybe it's a lie. Some of these leaders are their own either patrons or BOT, whatever. That don't worry. Whatever you do here, nobody will ever ask you. And even policemen,
You have immunity.
yes, immunity. They even this. Just point at her. He does not need to like you. She does not need to like you or love you. You get her. There is nothing and anything. So, and then in school, what they promised them in school before they initiated them, because we also, when I was in school too, we belong to an association that give us the opportunity to know their number 1 to 3. So when phone get lost of our members and we ask them that question, where did you misplace it? And they told us sincerely, we'll get it. It's not a fiction. We just call, oh guy, your boys have done it again. Afar, what is happening now? So what's happening now? And you say, don't tell anybody, I'll bring it to you. You just ask us the maker, all those things. So we enjoy that. But they also go to churches, they also go to mosque. We meet in mosque, they also go to churches. But they believe that they have power. They believe that they are immune, like Lola reminded of that. If they belong, there are so many lecturers, directors. They even mention some VCs, rector, provost, that don't worry yourself. There is nothing you want to do. That is why the ladies that marry to them or that date them, they promise them that you don't need to go to class. You tell the teacher or lecturer. So now how they now recruit artisans is what I don't know. Do they want to pass any exam? What kind of power are they looking for? So these are issues. But the number one promoter of these are politicians, sincerely, because they have seasons that they use them. The number one hooligan in every junction is paid during the election, because they know they cannot gain access to that place to campaign without paying them, without seeking their all those stuff. So it encourages these people to want to say, let's belong.
Okay. So
that we'll have power, we'll have influence, we can talk to anybody. So if you observe very well, during former Governor Bengadane, it was tough in Ogun State, and he used sport and youth and sport minister of youth and sport to do some magic. I was a reporter then, and I'm still a reporter. He tried. Whether he now used them for something else, but he took them off the streets. I won't mention names. There are some of them that were rehabilitated. They became very, very useful for the society. Whether he now used them for whatever his politics, he's a human being. So at least he was able to calm the situation, reduce the tension. During Senator Abeokuta Amosun, I won't partner anybody. it was reduced very, very. Hardly you hear about cultism sincerely. I don't know how he did it, but somebody told me that what usually fuel this cry is that they look at the body language of the governors. If they observe that this governor is, let me quote unquote, is a mad, it will be mad with them, they won't do it. If they observe that this governor is like a Dasika, it doesn't bother, just simple whatever they want to. So maybe they have observed the body language of Mr. Governor. He has been reading Riot Act. If you Google,
right,
he has been reading a lot of Riot Act.
Lola mentioned a few.
Whether he now implement that Riot Act or not, he left for the people of Ogun State. So it is the body language of Mr. Governor, sincerely. The governor has to come out from Michelle to let these people know that I won't tolerate this. It's not about talking. You see, there was something very dangerous that happened. Ogun State Police Command paraded some people a few years ago. We went there. We interviewed. You will not believe that. I don't know. It's not up to a year. I told you, Dioba, one of our colleagues, a guy walked up to him and said, "Bro, did you know me?" I said, "I don't know you." I was part of those that you interviewed that were paraded that will kill also for cultism. How will you feel as a journalist? You don't understand. The guy had to run away. My colleague. I don't you see. There are something that when you parade them, what they happen? You see them. There is a guy I won't mention his name, very popular around Lafenwa. They paraded him. Few months after, he was also seen in the street, on the street rather. So there are issues. Who is paying them? Who is their patron? Who is their babasale? What is happening? Is there any law that cultism? What kind of offense? What kind of punishment that is expected of anybody that is caught of that act? That is it. If we can have a policy, a law that will be very, very harsh, maybe it will discourage some of them. But I want to tell you that if guy is not taking all these young going in primary school, may also be in, if they have not even been. That is why it was easy for students to slap teachers. If you are not a cultist, if you don't belong to whatever group, you not dare raising your hand and then slap your teacher. Apart from whatever we heard about how teacher also was got bongo the respect. Apart from, but for a student to raise his hand and know, or to know, beat the teacher to come, machete teachers. So it means there are so many things that are happening that this government must take it very seriously. What happened yesterday, sincerely, is an eye-opener that security architecture in Abeokuta has collapsed.
Wow.
Okay, I'd love for us to also dwell some on some of the target groups of these cultists. You mentioned tertiary students, you mentioned of recent artisans, which is even pretty surprising. I mean, bike riders,
yes,
which you would not really expect, and all of that, because that even raises the question of the man in question. What interest does he have, or what qualities does he possess that has alerted these cultists to go after him for that long that they did before they were eventually able to machete him? And of course he was also crying out for it, but that's by the side. Secondary school students are now being targeted. As a matter of fact, I think it was on a job maybe about 2 or 3 weeks ago, it was spotlighted about how a certain school in Abeokuta is notorious in this regard, where
not one,
it's almost as though it's a rivalry between this school and another school. The parents, do they have responsibility in this regard that they are failing at?
Benga, I remember when I was in secondary school, it happened, but it was not, they were not cultists. Whenever we wanted to do inter-house sports, we know that there will be fight. There will be fight. But it was once in a year during inter-house sport. But this time around, you don't need to do inter-house sport. On Friday, just see. You see, there are some schools I will mention. Afro Grammar School is a prestigious school. They have destroyed that legacy. You see Afro Grammar School students attacking Gateway Secondary School, Itayalode.
Right.
You now see this school in Panseke.
St. Benedict?
No, forgotten, very close to a bank, forgotten now. Catholic,
Okay.
Catholic.
Right.
Now see, that was a situation. Some students wanted to attack that school on bike. When they got to that at the entrance, they uprooted the
gate.
sample.
Oh, okay.
And they met a teacher and they beat her up. Now, and every Friday then, except just of recent, you will see blood. They will match it. They use different dangerous weapons. In Pancheke, ask people.
Secondary school.
Secondary school. And then there are other schools too. In fact, there is a body. They call it a special crime in secondary school, whatever. I had an interaction with the commander. He told me that there was an intelligence that one in Okelewu, they wanted to burn the school. One in I think around that Ijebu. So now when you now say parents, all the stakeholders are responsible. If parents play their own role, the teachers also play their own role, the government also play their own role. Sincerely, there will not be an enabling environment for cultism. Why would they go into cultism? Yet, if you trade the history of cultism, you know, Professor Wale Soyinka, right? But when you ask him, he said he did not establish, found, he did not what was it called? This violent fashion of it. The one they established, they founded was the one that has to, you know, they were very intellectual, and they said they were not even secret organization. Now they have bastardized it. Who are the people that are number one and number two, number three? When I was in school, when they told me that this guy was their number one, I said it's not true, because he was extremely gentle. But how you now get to know is that when you see him, you see people around him. It is not that they're very close to him. It's like intelligence, but you cannot just do anyhow to him. So they enjoy that life of king, or this affluent. So we want to say that parents are to be blamed. There are some secondary school students that are fending for themselves. Our findings are sure. There are some secondary school that are living independently. In fact, let me remind you, when I don't know, but that of me, the first time I will have independence was when I left secondary school for higher institution. Right. That is when you now
start to fend for yourself.
I'm not even talking about fending. Living away from your parents.
Oh, okay.
Even if you are a boarding now student, secondary school, you see have a kind
they'll
of
come check up on you regularly.
The patron, porter, all those stuff that
guardian.
They will know decide you. But in that institution, you just get accommodation. You want to be, if I am a female student, if you want to be promiscuous, you can. So I think parents should see as a serious trouble. The government should also wade in. The religious leaders too. Everybody, even the media too. I don't know. Splash usually enlighten on various issues. I will also plead that you can also come up with a jingle that will, tell them the negative, the adverse effect. Because many people were either coerced. Because I was really involved in some things in school in Mapoli because of the situation, the position I was in school. There are some people, they will coerce them. When they look at them that this guy will be useful for us, they will coerce. But there was a guy, he was a product of a wealthy home, and they wanted to get him. And he said he was not interested. And they forced him. They initiated it. And the guy came to us and said, it has happened. And narrated how it was initiated. We now know the brand, they have brands, the yellow, the blue, all those stuff. Because we knew they are number one, and they know us. We had to meet with the number one. Come, it's our member. We don't take your member, so don't take our member. And we look at that thing. And government, school management was not aware. This arrangement, it was not formal at all. It was an informal thing. Now I know Benga now, and I know who you are. You know me, bros. This man, you go leave Amo. And then that's how we were. But not everybody. Because there was a guy that pretended as if he was not. When they now reveal the thing, that it was one that came to us, that he wanted the girl, that he toasted the girl did not, and he wanted the power. After he got the power, he got the girl. Maybe he now observed that the wahala don't come. He now came and said, hey, I was coerced. When we now asked, we now saw that it was not coerced. So what I'm saying is that there should be a measure. The religious body should also play their role in every aspect, even in secondary school too, and then counselors too. When we were in school, we had guidance and counselors. They are the one that will say, Lola, you are brilliant in English language, it's better you go for art. You will not believe that they have damaged our mentality to the extent that they said the most dullard set of people are those who go to art. That was the mentality I carried until when I got out of the secondary school. We believe that the most brilliant set of people are the science students. It's not true. I start to be corrected. It's not true. It's not at all. They believe that the middle brilliant people are the commercial. And I say, okay, if I'm not the most brilliant and I'm not dullard, let me stay in the middle. Look at that thing. So look at that. But if we have a good guidance and counselor, I said no. By checking our result, genuine, not the one that somebody help us to. With this result, it's better you go. For instance, I was recommended to go for science, but financially I couldn't. I had to say, okay, if I cannot, what was it called, survive, let me go to the middle one. And eventually I now ended up as an art person. You don't understand, and I enjoy it. That was when I got to know that no, you can't tell me that science students are the most brilliant. We have different understanding. In heart, I may not need to crime. There is no need for me to crime any formula. Read this passage and interpret. 1 + 1 is not 2 in heart. If they give us the same question in heart, we may give different answer. Now in science, they expect that if this answer is 2, you cannot come and say it's 3.
Right.
Because it's science, you must verify it.
Right.
In commercial, it's another. So what I'm saying is that there are so many stakeholders that should be involved. The school, these students are not well occupied. They don't really occupy them with work. If they have a lot of subject, a lot of work to do, they won't have the time to do cultism because they have time for initiation, and they do it in the jungle.
Right. Okay. Well, Daud, you've said a lot. This is definitely a topic that is bound to be exhaustive.
Right.
Yes, the conversation is bound to be exhaustive. The incident that happened yesterday, of course, which is what brought about our discussion today. In your narration of it, what stood out for me was, first of all, the fact that you said it was committed in broad daylight with a crowd, a number of witnesses, and that still did not deter them, which implies that, they have a sort of audacity, knowing that there are no repercussions, there are no consequences, they will not be apprehended or they will not be punished for their crimes. And also, when you said as well that there is an incursion of cultism into Abeokuta, which we previously did not have before. Those are two things that stand out to me. But let me read a direct quote from the PPRO, Bimbolo Oyeyemi, regarding the role that parents play in cultism. He said, I made an example some time ago when a father celebrated that his son is now the number 1 of a certain cult in Itori, and he threw a party for that. The parents are making the children believe that cultism is a good thing. Now, you've mentioned that this is a multi-sectoral, multi-stakeholder approach. A multi-sectoral approach is what is needed to flush out cultism. But at the very root of it, cultists or people who are either coerced or maybe even join of their own volition, they are not just seeking power, they know that they have immunity, and that's what emboldens them. Does it not
kẹ̀rẹ̀kẹ̀rẹ̀ ìgbà máa yí lọ. àgbájọ Homes and Property Nigeria Limited ló ní ìdá 50% làwọn yóò fi lo ìlú àwọn oníbàárà wọn. tẹ́sí tó láǹfààní sí dọ́kúmẹ̀ntì yín ilẹ̀ randa high level ìkìrìkú ìdán ọ̀yá dam precious estate àwọn ilẹ̀ yìí 200,000 ní tẹ́lẹ̀ báyìí 100,000 lẹ́sàn. ọ̀dẹ́dá unique garden 300,000 ní 150,000 ní báyìí bẹ́ẹ̀ sì ní ilé oko wọn. ọ̀pẹ́jì alábàtà òṣìẹ̀lẹ̀ àti kọbapẹ́ 60,000 ní tẹ́lẹ̀ báyìí 30,000 lẹ́sàn. ilẹ̀ oko orílẹ̀ ìlúgùn àti mọ́lọ́gẹ̀dẹ̀ 50,000 ní 25,000 lẹ́sàn báyìí pẹ̀lú àǹfààní sí dọ́kúmẹ̀ntì yín. bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ti ra àwọn ilé oko wọ̀nyí ó bá jẹ́ plọ́ọ̀tì 3 lẹ́ra ẹ láǹfààní sí ìdajì sí bó sì jẹ́ éèkà lẹ́ra ẹ gbọ́ odidi sí 39 NTA road ọgbẹ́ Abeokuta 07044648338 07044648338 ọjọ́ 10 oṣù kọkànlá láǹfààní yóò pè.
àkọlé mara lẹ̀.
Why are you dancing this early morning? What is the occasion?
It is Foodco 39th anniversary. Ego choke. If you think grand opening of Foodco at Akeolugbade was light, this 39th anniversary, oh my loud gun.
Jamisi, ọ̀rẹ́.
You stand a chance to 25% off on winning baskets at appointed time. Buy 2 t-shirts, get 1 free. Coca-Cola 1 liter, 160 naira. Ovaltine refill 400 gram, 970 naira. Fruit drink 500 ml, 100 naira. Mini-me pasta macaroni 475 gram, 240 naira. Get this and many more exciting offers at Foodco Akeolugbade Social Center. Promo runs from October 29th to November 7, 2021. Offer valid.
₦50,000 and ní 400,000 naira ṣàgá orílẹ̀ ní àkọ́dù 200,000 naira. ẹ tún láǹfààní láti jẹ àwọn ẹ̀bùn lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ bíi cooker iron fan phone wall clock fridge freezer àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. a ó tún ṣe agreement fún yín lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ tẹ́ ẹ bá ti sanwó lẹ́yìn tán. a wà ní 24 Nawarudin road ládojúkọ Nawarudin high school ìṣàbọ̀ Abẹ́òkúta tàbí kẹ́pẹ́ 08161411190 tàbí 09125242235.
àlàáfíà lóògùn ọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ló ní ìṣòro kan tàbí èkejì nínú ara oríṣiríṣi egbògi láti lò àmọ́ tí kò sí ìyàtọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ sì ni ọ̀pọ̀ ti jẹ nǹkan tó dùn lápọ̀jù èyí tó fa àkọlùkọgbà nínú ara lójú lọ́kọ̀lẹ́wùrà ó ti hurun egbògi tá a pè rẹ̀ rèé. tọkùnrin àtobìnrin lè lò kí fóun tẹ̀lú omi pọ́nbélé ni wọ́n fi ṣe ẹ̀dá Chapman Ababita ò lónìí láti jẹ́ alágbàtà tàbí kó lọ́pọ̀ yanturu ẹ pè sórí aago 08170026620 08170026620 Chapman Ababita olúwa ló lọ pẹ́ tí adu medical center ló ń ṣe é.
Amen. Bayo. How are my children? They are fine, my brother. You wanted to see me? Yes, it's about this land matter we were discussing yesterday. You know you have a point. Of course I have a point. And the Ogun State government has an even bigger point. Buy land directly from so long. Listen, Ogun State is truly the gateway state, and this opportunity is your gateway to peace and prosperity. So how do I go about it? Just log on to www.
Panorama on Splash 106.7 FM.
Welcome back. It's Panorama on the Integrity Station. We're Splash 106.7. We're talking cultism, and we have Daud Olatunji, a reporter with the Punch newspaper, joining us. He's been with us to have this conversation. He's also going to remain with us as we segue into the newspaper review segment of the program. But first, let's take your calls and your comments on our issue of the day. You've heard it all. You've heard all the discussion, all the angles. It's time to chip in your take on it. The numbers to call are 0817 444 1067, 0817 555 1067, and 0704 400 1067. Let us know what you think of cultism in Ogun State, the government's handling of it, the parents' handling of it, the teachers' handling of it, as a society, our handling of it. What do you think of all these? We have a comment on WhatsApp, but let's get to this call first. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name?
Afolabi is my name. I'm calling from.
Afolabi, please go on.
It is so bad that we are back into the times of cultism in Ogun State. And it is like what happened there yesterday. It is so disgusting, so disheartening that some people can just cut their fellow human being like they were cutting beef. Now, let me tell you, we cannot remove our politicians from this cultism thing. Like, they are the godfathers of these people because they use them for their electioneering campaigns. For instance, look at what happened during the APC this thing at Ake the other time. I was surprised that some guys came to that place, and I was told it was from the other side of the convention or whatever they call it. So our politicians should watch it. They should stop using other people's children to cause problem in the society. If they don't give them that backing, this thing won't spread the way it's spreading. So we should appeal to our politicians, the governors, the House of Assembly people, the local government candidates and aspirants. They should please stop this so that the future of these youth can be guaranteed. They should stop it. Our politicians are more responsible. Let us call on them.
Thank you, Afolabi, for your contribution. It's appreciated. 0817 444 1067. I implore you to please keep your thoughts to 1 minute so we can take a number of calls. Remember, we're in From the Pages hour now. Hello, good morning.
Bella, good morning.
Good morning, Abeokuta.
Good morning, Daud. Good morning, my brother. Good morning. Now, the country is facing so many challenges from different fronts. The North, they are facing their challenges in the northern states. The South, we have our challenges, which might not be banditry, but this issue of cultism is a big problem. I wonder at times, it's like saying these boys that are into cultism, that are into robbery, that are into banditry, maybe they should swap places with our security personnel. Because you wonder the way they handle their own intelligence, the way they handle their operations, and they do these things without our security operatives being able to meet it or being able to find solutions to it. It's like the people at the other end, at the client side, they are more intelligent than the ones we have in our security apparatus. The government has a lot to do. Yes, the parents and the likes. But for me, how many have you been able to catch in the past, and what have you done to them to serve as deterrents to others? We are not doing that simply because it has been alleged that so many of our politicians, they are using these boys when it comes to times of politics, and they wouldn't want them to be caught because a lot of them will sing if they are caught.
Thank you.
Even if they are caught, they find way of releasing them.
Abayomi, thank you very much for your contribution. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Tajudeen from Magbon.
Tajudeen.
Yes. With the parents, the family has a role to play, a very vital role to play, because we discussed the parents lack this parental care. What the parents even take in place of being caring is over pampering. A like Mr. Daud mentioned something, that parents need to visit the children in school. You even discover that parents that go to school to visit their children is just to buy something and give to them. Most times, this knowledge, this moral value that they need to import in these children, they are not there. The government also needs to have a role to play in the sense that those children that have lacked that parental care, the parental guidance, and have turned themselves to non-entities in the society, the government needs to work on them. The religious institution also has to play. In fact, all of us will have a role to play in this. Thank you.
Thank you, Tajuddin. Appreciate the brevity of your comment. On WhatsApp now, we have this comment from, let me see now. Okay, it's not pulling up yet. Okay. So let's take this call in the meantime.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Jenga. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Olabode Adego is my name.
Olabode.
To start with, I love the fact that Daud earlier referenced the fact that, some of these people are being used. They are like instruments in the hand of the government, of our politicians. Now, to start with, let's look at the north. There is everything boils down to the fact that, criminalities and whatever evil people perpetrate, it is synonymous to mankind. So there are evils among us, definitely. But when the thing is turning to be a kind of menace and a kind of, a very big challenge, whether at the state or at the national level, just go and check it. There are elements of insincerity on the part of the government, or there are clandestine involvement or knowledge of the whole thing. Banditry, Boko Haram, or whatever that has snowballed into something bigger in the north today, it started from the fact that the people were deliberately authorized, academically, so that it could be used like just go there, a kind of voting element. Now, if you look at the same thing here in South, people, they are instruments in the hands of the police. So why, like about 3 or 4 or 6 years ago, this issue of
please wrap up your thoughts, Olabode.
Okay, let me do. So this many of us, because of this, what do you call it, Yahoo everything. I'm not glorifying it, but anyway, by and large, what I'm trying to say, the government needs to switch and just do the needful.
All right, thank you. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, this is Nicholas.
Nicholas, please go on.
You see, when Sri Lanka formed the private society in Nigeria, the ideology was to fight for student welfare and tie revenue from the authorities. In fact, you have to be an intelligent boy to be a member of the private society. Then it was not private and but things degraded, and we watched our army of youth swell, and we did not have enough agencies to accommodate their adolescent pool. So for those who don't have the fear of God and the Holy Spirit, what do you expect them to do? And if I had a daughter in London, another one in America, will I be traveling every day to go and see them? So there's even a limit to what the parents can do. But I'm more bothered about the cultists in government who have created a fertile ground. Now you have illiterates who are even court members. So let's do.
All right.
Thank you, Nicholas.
Very much, Nicholas.
Continuing the streak of brief comments, we appreciate that. Kenny from Abiola Way says, concerning the girl that just spoke, I really pity her life. You can imagine how she's still respecting Sadiq as brother Sadiq. What a life. The government should deploy more police to our junctions and motor parks, not deploying to Anambra for political suits. Thank you, Kenny from Abiola Way. Samson New Joseph says the cultism issue in the state is so deeper than you can imagine. It's difficult to deal with them because they are tools in the hands of our politicians, but with a different nomenclature, hoodlums and thugs. They now operate in broad daylight. They're so bold that they enter streets and operate and leave freely. I believe it is so possible for them to keep operating because they have backups in power. If government wants to do something about it, they can, but selfish reasons would not allow them. They are awarding these guys handsomely, from ticketing chief officer's position to some political appointments. And finally, this one from Akorede Camille, who says, how did we get here? I know cultists have no regard for values, but what about laws? Now, people will start living in perpetual fear. The government should please make Abeokuta and other areas in the state safe for us. Thank you, Akorede.
On Facebook now, we have a couple of comments here. There's this one from Adeokuta Adeyemi, who's watching us. Just says live from Accra, Ondo State. Thanks for joining us. Akorede Camille on Facebook this time around also says, where were the security operatives when these cultists were butchering an Okada rider without getting disturbed right in the act? Talk of the spate of insecurity again in the state and the country in general. And there is a response to the question posed by Akorede Camille from Abu Sophia Sulaiman Fasasi, who says, you might need to invite our brother, mentions a certain name, to come and exonerate the governor as usual. All right. Okay, Chuku Antonio Ayan, who says, good AM. I'm watching from Oyo. The issue of cultism in Nigeria, especially in Ogun, is so bizarre, pathetic, unfortunate, and scary. Each time I pass through Ijebu, the access to the east, I feel so afraid because these guys are really cruel and seem to be above the law. Something tells me there is something sinister about these bad boys. They are not even afraid of anybody. It's a pity, my brother. All right, those are the comments we have on Facebook.
Thank you, everyone, for your contribution. If you'd like to say some more, you can wait till when we are done reviewing the newspaper headlines. I'll head over now to the Punch as well as Premium Times and perhaps Nigerian Tribune.
I would breeze through the Nation as well as Daily Trust newspaper.
From the Punch, there's an update on Inubong Umaran's case. Court summons third accused person, Anwan Akpan. On teachers' assault, which we also mentioned in our talk on cultism, Ogun government pledges security in schools. Another pledge. Nigerians show growing interest in Halloween, Father Christmas costumes. Others, according to Google search trends. Niger Delta Group raises alarm over plots by northern lawmakers to scrap 13% oil derivation. On Anambra, Igbo elders tell federal government to withdraw military and free 5,000 detained IPOB ESN suspects. APC convention date shaky, party battles crisis in 13 states. Obi Kubana spends second day with EFCC, passport seized. On Ikoyi building collapse, as we told you yesterday, it's a developing story. And at the time we concluded Panorama yesterday, there were only 10. Well, not only, but there were 10 dead. But now that number has risen to 20, according to this Punch headline. Lagos suspends GM. Death toll rises to 20. Families protest. NMPC admits hitches in depots, dismisses price hike rumor. On Odili, Supreme Court lampoons mastermind of raid, says attack despicable and shameful. ASU seeks prayers as gunmen kidnap 2 Uni Abuja profs and family members. Aregbesola calls for collaborative efforts to curb financial crime. Moving over to Premium Times now, police officer ignores NSAS panel's order to return illegal bail money. This has been alleged by petitioners. Many Nigerians yet to benefit from Healthcare Provision Fund. That's according to the SGF. Amotekun nab 2 suspected ritualists in Ogun. Also from Premium Times newspaper, on COP26, Nigeria has joined 104 other countries with their promise to end deforestation by 2030. Another interesting thing that Nigeria said at the COP26 is also that it plans to cut carbon emissions to net zero by 2060. Even though this analysis by Premium Time shows that that declaration is short on details. The Supreme Court is alleging that the raid on Mary Odili's home appeared like a mission to kill and maim her. Let me see. Malami Femi Adesina Lord Buhari government over press freedom. We'll talk to Daud briefly about this, seeing as he's a member of the press. And yesterday was International Day of Press Freedom, if I'm not mistaken. El Rufai mourns victims of bandits' attacks as Khan decries killing, abduction of worshippers. Again, bandits go on killing and looting spree in Katsina. Police deploy additional security to Uni Abuja in light of the abduction. Reps panel commences probe into collapsed 1.89 billion Delta Steel Company. And finally, from Premium Times, NSAS panel orders police to meet family over release of slain relatives' corpse. Over to you now, Benga.
From The Nation is where I'll begin. Buhari against impunity, crime against journalists, says Adeshino. Of course, Lula referenced this and how Daud would also weigh in on this. Tinubu condoles with Lalong Dean family over patriarch's death. Illicit gold mining behind Zamfara insecurity, says ICPC boss. Ohani is a reports president aide Onochie to Delta Monarchs. Others, we have this as well. Uzodinma, federal lawmakers behind plot to destabilize Imo. Infrastructure gap, Nigeria needs $1.5 trillion in 10 years, says Buhari. Middle Belt's bishops council urge IOM to run for president. There's this story put together by The Nation, and it centers on major building collapse since 2010. All right. That's definitely one to read.
I imagine it tracks the
all
incidences
of the previous times that buildings have collapsed. We have this as well. We must get to the bottom of this ghastly occurrence, says Tinubu. This might not be unconnected to the building collapse in Ikoyi. We have this as well. Police arrest suspects in siege to Odeli's home. Gunmen abduct 2 Edo pupils. And, well, as we are talking about the building in Ikoyi that collapsed, where Lola referenced over 20 have been confirmed dead so far, there's another building that's collapsed in the Lekki area of Lagos, barely 24 hours after the 21-story building that caved in on Gerard Road, Ikoyi, Lagos.
But from what the glance at that story that I saw, I don't think there were any casualties reported so far.
All right, maybe on the good side that is. Let's talk about the Daily Trust now. Invaders out to kill Justice Odili. This is coming from the Supreme Court. Banditry, Bello meets security agencies, monarchs, 6 new strategy. There's also this one that was also reported in The Nation with the one to destabilize my government. It was in Uzodinma cries out. APC barren party. This is coming from Lamido. Buhari congratulates Sultan on 15th anniversary. Obi Kubana spent second night in FCC custody. Well, some story I've not confirmed yet say that he has been released, but we'll confirm that and let you know exactly what it is. PSE insists on federal character in police recruitment. PDP condemns attack on Uni Abuja, demands release of abductees. Ikoyi building collapse, outrage, agony as death toll hits 20, many still trapped. This is from Ashibaja, the vice president of The Nation. Nigerian youths are our most strategic assets. We have this as well. PDP's rescue mission will start from Anambra. This is coming from Ifeanyi Okowa, the governor of Delta State. Imo deputy speaker impeached. Lagos tragedy, Sanwo-Olu suspend GM of building agency. Death toll rises to 14. Well, that was some 16 hours ago, which has been updated to over 20 people now that have been confirmed dead.
20 according to Punch and Premium Times, and 19 according to Tribune.
Okay, we have this as well. DSS DG son under fire for calling Obi Kubana a man of dignity. Interesting. Counter-terrorism, CSO to launch support for Army Lords synergies among armed forces. We have this as well. COP26, Jeff Bezos hails Buhari's leadership role. Those are the stories that I have.
That's an odd
Daily
story,
Trust.
maybe. Jeff Bezos and Buhari was there. Anyway, okay, I have the Tribune's front page here. Justice Odili's house invasion, impunity taken too far. That's from the Supreme Court. Body of Sons meet Malami, demand probe. It's part of plot to hijack 2023 election. That's from the PDP. As I said, Tribune is reporting that the death toll rose to 19, not 20, as said by Punch and Premium Times. It also says 9 brought alive. And the number of riders here, Lagos to foot bill of injured persons. We must get, as he also sets up probe panel. Other stories from its front page, Ilanomo Odua says how gunmen attacked Akintoye's residence. Tribune reports that Obi Kubana leaves EFCC custody. Buhari asks world leaders for yearly $100 billion promised to tackle climate change. That's interesting. How 14,423 members surrendered. That's from the federal government. NFIU says banditry and kidnapping will end in March, April 2022. Another timeline for ending insecurity. We'll see whether this one meets up. NMPC allays fears over fuel scarcity. New Plateau Assembly Speaker threatens to arrest impeached Speaker. INEC ready for Anambra poll. That's according to Yakubu. Soludo, Uba, Ozigbo, 6 other candidates beg IPOB and youths. And there's a special report from Nigerian Tribune on how poor blood donation culture endangers the lives of pregnant women and other patients. If you can, please try to donate blood. I try to when I can. It's relatively safe.
When you can.
Harmless, yes. Yeah. And you are saving the lives of others. It's a noble way to, try and save other people's lives. Finally, from Nigerian Tribune, I find this story interesting and heartwarming, actually, if it is true. 200 persons with disabilities to serve as election observers in Anambra is what the story reads. Way to go for inclusion. All right, let's bring Daud in on this now. Briefly, Daud, welcome back. Not that you ever left.
Yes.
Okay, where shall we begin then?
All right, let's start with a story from the corridors of power, talking about the presidency. Buhari against impunity, crime against journalists, says Adeshino. There's a writer to the story. Malami, federal government committed to ending lawlessness. The question is, these federal governments, are they really committed to ending impunity against journalists? That's just a big question.
They're patting themselves on the back for press freedom. Do they deserve it? Can they even pat themselves on it? Shouldn't it be you who maybe pats them on the back? Are you patting them on the back?
At least they are still pretending, and then they are either by pretense or whatever, they still allow us to do our job, unlike during the military era when they go after you.
But is that the yardstick, the military era? We've been in democracy now since 1999, so there are other governments to compare to.
Broken.
If you compare the freedom we have in Nigeria to others, you want to say that we are not doing badly.
What about comparing this administration with previous democratic administrations?
All of them are the same. All of them are the same.
Jonathan,
no government will want a secret to be leaked, sincerely. No government, no matter how good the government want to, either at the state or federal level. No government. You see, a journalist that practices his profession very well will never be in the good book of the government, because we are the voice of the voiceless. These people are doing something that they don't want the masses to know. For instance, there was a time they roll out 12 roads for list of 12 roads in Ogun State that they want to do. They held a press conference. They told that they wanted to do 12 roads. I'm talking about early this year. Right. And we asked them that how much was involved. Till today, they didn't tell us. You don't understand. So, and then you also look at the era too, the same. Daniel era too, the same. And then go up. Federal government. Femi Adesina was Guild of Editors president, and despite that, he still had issues with journalists. There are so many times a journalist, a reporter with the Nation, was sacked because of a report he wrote on the itinerary of Mr. President. They sacked him. A reporter with the Punch was sent away from Aso Rock. So, and mention that government either at the state or federal level.
Now that we're here, this comparison of previous governments and the way they've dealt with the press is interfacing with the press not a major yardstick that should also be considered. But I could remember the Obasanjo presidency. There were regular updates, regular interfacing with the press.
Yes.
That seems to have
everybody has his own style. During that era, there was this governor explained this.
Right.
During Amos era, there was some similar thing. During the current one, there was nothing like that. But that does not mean that he is not passing this information. They all have their own different styles. But ideally, they should be updating. Ask me, as I'm ashamed I don't know how much Ogun State government generates as IGR monthly. They will not tell you. I'm ashamed that I'm a journalist I couldn't get. They have written in some FOI, letter. They just dump it somewhere. So, ideally, governments should be updating people. It is the resources of the people. Journalists are expected to expose the activities. That's why they call us the fourth estate of the realm, because there are three estates: the judiciary, legislature, and then executive. They don't live where masses live. It is the journalists that have that privilege to live with them, and the essence of living with them is to represent the masses, and then get, either by dropping, by whatever, get the activities they are doing and relate it. Now come, it is your resources. This is how it are being shared. They are using it. So journalists that want to do it the way it's supposed to be done will never be in the good book of the government. If you see any journalist that is a friend to the government, something is wrong. It's not that he must be the enemy of the government, because government is also part of it. He must report the activities of government without any bias, but it must not be too close to the government to the extent that it will be compromised. But the question is, as journalists, have they been given that enabling environment? They are not angels. I've been saying it. They are not angels. They want to do the work of the masses, and the people they want to leak their secrets. They have the money, they have everything, they have contracts that they can use to lord the journalists. But for them not to be tempted, masses need to appreciate, all their employers must appreciate that, when journalists are well paid, is one of the problems. Sincerely, I thank God that where I am, it's not that it's that big, but at least I'm contented. But how many journalists can also say that? There are some journalists that for the past 3 years they've not collected their salary, and they are practicing, and they are human beings. They are not angels. How would they not be compromised? So these are issues that there is need for us to sit down and rejig this profession called journalism. That in fact journalism is capable to either make or mar the country. But that is why the politicians, they are very, very smart. When they don't want an information to get out, they know how to compromise journalists. So we are saying that when it comes to the issue of impunity, all those stuff, all the governments, the Obasanjo era was also guilty. Jonathan era was guilty. The short era of late Umar Yar'Adua was also guilty, because they have so many secrets. They don't want it out, and journalists are saddled with the responsibility of leaking it to the people, that you must get this information about it. So I want to say that there is no government that is the best. Everybody has his own style.
All right, well, let's move over to another story now. Collapse, as we said, is still a developing. When we also analyzed the story, was the suspension general manager of the Lagos State Building Control Agency, Bola Oki, as well as there seems to be a discrepancy in what is being said by Mr. Oki, or what was said by Mr. Oki. He said that the collapsed building only got approval for 15 floors, but went ahead to build 21 floors. But the deputy governor actually refuted that claim and said the government gave approval for the construction of a 21-story building.
Lord, you are the engineer, all those stuff. So settle for substandard materials. So
it does it appease you? This suspended the BCA.
Let there be who stole Desani bra or pants. Yeah, they supposed to have, because so you have to involve. You have to listen to the experts in that bid. But I know that building could collapse not only because of the status of the material. It could collapse because of anything. Anything can happen. Maybe the architect use out with the true state of things.
Okay.
I'd also look for us to talk about this for a few more minutes.
I don't.
Stories before we open phone lines. Let's talk about Abeokuta's release. The celebrated socialite and businessman was released after spending 24 hours in the custody of the EFCC. It says, however, that a top source at the EFCC explained that although the anti-graft agency plans to prosecute Cubana for sundry economic and financial offenses, the trial would not commence anytime soon. And they said there were many issues for which he would be charged, such as abuse of the Naira, tax fraud, and money laundering, based on what the source called verified business transactions. This, this was, well, maybe not shocking, but this, got a lot of people talking yesterday, given that there are some who had predicted that the lavish display of wealth at his mother's burial would lead to this. But what do you make of this? Is there a case
maybe
here?
Even the abuse of the Naira part.
I also,
but there are yes. But I remember when we analyzed that abuse of the Naira as issue of the day, and we pointed other instances where government officials themselves
President son or daughter. They also abuse Naira now.
There was a police official, I think it was Abeokuta as well, that was present at Abeokuta's mom.
Yes, before he sold a cloth for
right. So what do you make of this? I mean, this does not mean he's guilty. It's still an ongoing,
See,
investigation.
I know he will run into trouble because yes, he has been able to explain. I read his interview. He has been able to explain how he got his money. That he's into various business, hotel, all those stuff. But I know he will run into trouble because of the way he display wealth and then abuse of Naira. I know. But in Nigeria, there are so many things that is better left unsaid, on air. When I heard that he was arrested, I know that, in this Nigeria, either you like it or not, there are two laws. There are two laws in this Nigeria. There are some people that they are untouchable. If you touch them, let me give you an example. The Abakari, what is delaying the report? You don't understand. They know our psychology.
I even hear it's been
They
released
know our
also.
psychology. They know we soon forget. Do people talk about Kyari? Don't even remember. They know our psychology. When it happened, that will be like want to break everything. They know we may not get anything seriously. We may not, except that they want to surprise us. That okay. So Obi Kubana, let's see how they will get him. That he has laundered money. There are some people that believe that it is very easy. Obi Kubana is a willing tool, or is a tool that could be used to launder money, because he has given that impression to the world that I am a billionaire, so I have money. So if he engages in some things, they may not charge him. EFCC said, okay, he has abused Naira, he's at tax evasion, right, all those stuff. Let's see how it happens. And then look at the source that Lola just read to us, that his prosecution will not come anytime soon. That is Nigeria for you. Let them, you shouldn't embarrass people. Is it a sin to have money? That's another view that I also have. That if somebody has money genuinely, it's not a sin, it's not a crime that you now harass him. So let us know his sins. Don't just arrest somebody and then saying that you now release him. The first is that let's have, okay, these are his sin. He has laundered money with this evidence. He has abused Naira. The question is, if you want to arrest him for allegedly abusing our Naira, are you saying that he's the only one that is engaged, that is guilty of that? Government officials are guilty of that now.
Daud, final question on this subject. Do you think there's a tribal angle to this?
No. Don't let us be tribal angle.
Okay, I have to also reference the fact that I talked about how news was rife that Abeokuta has been reinstated. It's false. Okay, just fact checked that now. Police sources say that he has not been reinstated, and so still under proof of sorts. But we have to, Abeokuta, that is. We have to pay attention to calls now. Please ensure to keep your thoughts down to a minute so we can have as possible to join the conversation. Good morning. What's your name?
Good morning once again. Afolabi is my name.
Afolabi, please, 1 minute.
Yes.
Go on.
The Ikoyi building collapse was as a result of negligence, shared negligence by the builder and the owner of the building. If we cannot recollect, there is this letter that circulated all over the places that the consulting engineering company calls the attention of the owner of that building to the integrity of the building.
Above all, now fight ourselves for personal gains at the expense of industry gains. Unfortunately, in all these, we play the ostrich for a lot of reasons. We have a long way to go. That's from Ayuade Shorunke. Thank you for your contribution.
Now, hi, good. Oh, we lost it. Apologies for that.
Do well and call us back if you can. This comment is from Akorede Camille, and he says, Ikoyi building collapse is avoidable, but many people have lost their lives due to negligence of others. What do we do to forestall future occurrence? We're talking about buildings under construction. What about buildings that are still standing, but some of the structural elements in the structure have failed and can only stand a few years before total collapse if proper prevention is not taken? For me, government should put in place machinery for strict monitoring of construction sites by enforcing relevant laws to sanitize the building industry. Thank you, Akorede Kamil. If you'd like to call us, the numbers are 0817 444 1067, 0817 555 1067, 0704 400 1067. We've read in
Have a nice day.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Nicholas, for your contribution.
I recall that Afolabi actually asked a question. Cannot remember again.
He mentioned the consultant's report that the integrity of the building, structural integrity after.
let's have the breakdown. And apart from that, what about it? The breakdown. How much they said this all this insecticide, all those stuff. And
okay.
He didn't buy. He didn't what?
Budget.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Daud, for your contribution. That's fine. This commenter wants to be anonymous. He says, "Do you know that currently in Ogun State there is a bill sponsored by the Ministry of Urban and Regional Planning, which is yet to be passed by the House, although it is already being considered for passage, and public hearing held had revealed a lot of administrative lacuna structured into the law, which will make this law fail to achieve its goals beyond revenue for government to prevent loss of lives and property. It is worthy of note that we have a current failing replica of the same law in Lagos, evidenced in revelations from this current collapse. The design team serves as regulatory professionals to builders in construction processes, but when you populate an agency to regulate builders with builders, it is a foundation for compromise. Unfortunately, this yet to be passed law is already being implemented. This is how the good initiative of homeowners charter became enforced." Well, thank you, anonymous commenter. Sounds like someone in the
dead by Amosu administration.
I didn't mention any name. I only said that it was a project by Amosu government, and the building collapsed. You all
he said
went
it's
there.
still under construction. I mean, in this administration.
I don't know. We'll fact check that.
Okay, great. Well, we can take more calls, about 2 more before we have to wrap up the conversation this morning. We'll have someone here who's willing to talk. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. What's your name?
Alhaji,
please go.
This administration, how much have been budgeted for that Villa something? We are seeing, and look at the also called iron and steel at also called Abeokuta. That we employ almost about 500 200 people every year, nothing has been done about it. Every year, nothing. This administration, they are not, when we say prudent, they are not prudent in managing this country economy at all. They are not prudent there. Look at the amount they used to take care of the presidential jet. Presidential jet that in the UK, when they want to go out, the charter plane, here, we continue to live laboriously. The majority of people continue to suffer. That is where we are saying this. Let the president, we need the prudence and consensus.
All right.
When you say we
have to go now.
The doctors are on side every time. Lecturers are on side every time. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. People should not be discouraged, because I already said that we talk every day.
Around to come to the studio for that one. So
well, that would be interesting.
Should,
join Dara and Binga tomorrow from 8 o'clock. In the meantime, an edition of Panorama. Panorama will continue tomorrow and Friday as well. It's every weekday from Monday to Friday. My name is Lola Meduteni. Good morning.